I was the shy kid in school that all the girls made fun of. No question, I was a loser. But that changed when I got rich. Suddenly, hot girls couldn't wait to date me. Here is how it happened. I'm from a Caribbean island. My family's dirt poor, like most everyone else around here. They called me a crazy pirate because I was obsessed with hidden treasure, the kind that's found in sunken ships. But I'm not crazy. Some shipwrecks are gold mines, like the San Jose, a Spanish warship that was sunk 200 years ago and found in 2015. It was filled with treasure worth 17 billion US dollars. Thing is, shipwreck treasure is buried deep. We're talking 50, 100 meters down in pitch black waters that are freezing cold. So, how did I search for them? I used a small wooden boat with camera equipment and lights on a long line I lowered down into the sea. Sounds exciting? Not really. Fishing for sunk treasure is pretty boring. Only my dream of becoming rich kept me going. After 3 years, I had found 2 small shipwrecks around 70 meters down. I borrowed scuba equipment to search them, but all I found was a worthless old pistol too rusty even to sell for scrap metal. Meanwhile, at school, Pedro made my life hell. He was popular and dating Maya, the hottest girl in our school. She didn't even know I existed until Pedro tripped me and spit on me on the ground. Maya said, "That's not nice, Pedro. He's just a little boy." "Oh, he's a loser." I was furious and promised myself that one day I would steal Maya away from him. I just didn't expect it to happen so fast. I stumbled on a massive shipwreck 110 meters deep. Scuba diving that deep is dangerous. It's so much pressure it feels like an elephant is sitting on your chest. But I was desperate. The ship was ancient and in splinters, but soon I found a cannon. And then a coin? I scraped off the buildup and gold shined from underneath. I got so excited I forgot about my oxygen levels. I kept digging until my tank was at 1%. Suddenly, I had trouble breathing. I became so dizzy that I can't remember how I got up. Thank God I survived. For 3 weeks, I skipped school and looted the wreck. All in all, I recovered 200 gold coins worth around 8 million US dollars. I buried my treasure in a safe spot that no one could find. Then I sold a few coins for 400,000 US dollars cash and bought myself a red Ferrari Portofino. Not bad for a 16-year-old. Everyone at school wanted a ride, including the girls. I took 2 of them for a trip before I parked the car and said, "Come on, lap girls." They eagerly came over, and then I had my first kiss with 2 girls at the same time. I was the alpha now, but that dirtbag Pedro couldn't accept it. "Oh, you inherited some money? Big whoop. Better watch your back, you show-off." He was mad, and I loved it. The same day, I messaged his girlfriend Maya on Instagram. She responded, "Oh, I love your new car. Red is my favorite color." I took her for a test drive up the coast when she said, "This Ferrari is so pretty." "Not as pretty as you." "Aw, thanks. You are so adorable." This was the same girl that 2 weeks before had called me a little boy and laughed at me. But now I had money and status. Nothing could stop me. I grabbed her hair and pulled her in for a kiss. Turns out girls love rich guys, even if they are as ugly as me. Then I told her, "Break up with Pedro. He's a loser." "Yeah, I know. I've been wanting to dump him for months, but what if he gets angry?" "Don't worry. Give me your phone." I texted Pedro from her number. "It's over between us. You are a loser, and I'm dating the boss now." Then I hired a bodyguard for the next week. A real thug that looked like he was made from a steel pipe. He followed me and Maya everywhere. When Pedro found us, he lunged at me, screaming like a madman. But my bodyguard threw Pedro to the ground in an arm lock. His face was pushed up against my shoe when I said, "You are a loser. Don't mess with me." I pulled Maya in for another kiss and felt like a freaking boss. Then on Insta, I posted me and Maya in the Ferrari with the caption, "Pedro, I stole your girl. Aren't you embarrassed she likes me better? Hang your head and cry, you sad loser." I also posted a video. "Maya, who's the better lover, me or Pedro?" "You, of course. You're my big man." Okay, maybe I got a little too cocky. Because one night I drove to my secret spot where the gold coins were buried. I needed more, but then I heard his terrible laugh. So this is where you got the money from. Well, say goodbye to your precious stash. He pushed me away and took everything. How could I be so stupid? I had nothing left except my Ferrari, and I couldn't even afford fuel for it. So I went to Maya and asked, would you still date me if I lost all my money and became poor? Of course. You are, funny and cute. Then I made out with her, but it was our last time. That night, I woke up to the smell of burning. Pedro had lit my Ferrari on fire, and the flames caught our house. Everything my family had worked for generations was lost in the flames. I wanted to take revenge and kill Pedro, but I had to take care of my sister first. We couldn't afford her medicine anymore, so we fled to the United States to start a new life. Of course, now I'm even more obsessed with becoming rich. Not to get famous or to get women, but so I can get back at Pedro for what he did to my family. There's nowhere to dive for sunken treasure here in Pittsburgh, and without a high school degree, I really have to hustle. 2 years ago, I started a plumbing company, working 15-hour days, and it's already making $5,000 a month in profit. Now, I just have to scale it up. Meanwhile, Pedro is a lot on Instagram these days, traveling the world and dating hot girls with my money. I swear to God that he won't enjoy his new life for very long.
Hey there. This is my story of growing up rich and losing it all. When I was a little kid, life was easy. We had 2 mates and they bought me whatever toy I wanted. So I never had to wait for my birthday or Christmas. I also went to an expensive school, but I never did any homework because my dad hired a tutor who did all the work for me. Yeah, okay. I was spoiled, but I was an only child and my parents had the money, so why wouldn't they spend it on me, right? Well, today, I wish my parents had been stricter. Maybe then I would have been prepared for what happened next. You see, my dad had made lots of money from his own company. He had built it up from nothing and became a millionaire. But then something went wrong and the government shut his whole company down. We lost everything and had to move out of our beautiful home and into a small apartment. Luckily, we weren't homeless, but still, life became very hard overnight. While my parents were struggling to find jobs, I was struggling with the most basic things, like getting myself ready for school. No one was helping me. And when my mom told me to take the school bus, I freaked out and screamed at her that she should drive me to school. But my mom was so stressed that she yelled at me, "Shut up and stop annoying me!" I was shocked and even more angry because no one had ever talked to me like that before. After a few weeks, I switched from my private school to a public school, and things were very different. The food tasted horrible, and most of the teachers couldn't remember my name. I also got some pretty bad grades, and instead of helping me, my parents just called me lazy. That's when I realized that I had to learn to depend on myself. Even though those were the toughest years of my life, I'm grateful for the experience now. And luckily, things got easier after my dad had a promotion at work. My mom stopped cleaning houses and I got a new tutor. Her name was Isabel, and she always made sure I did my homework. And when I started doing my own homework, I discovered that I loved math and that I'm really good at it. You can't imagine how excited I was to show my dad my A- math exam. He said that he had never been more proud of me and hung it right onto the refrigerator. Recently, I met up with some of my old friends from before, and I realized how spoiled they were. One of them complained how her father refused to buy her a new designer bag, even though she already had so many of them. To me, it seemed ridiculous to complain about something so unimportant and stupid, but maybe I would have been just like her if my parents hadn't lost it all. Now I'm at college studying engineering, while also working at a clothing store 5 days a week to help pay my tuition. I'm always tired, but I don't want to complain because I know that many people have it much, much harder. It sounds strange, but I'm kind of glad my parents went broke. It forced me to work hard, overcome challenges, and appreciate what I have. I'm a useful person now, and not just some entitled leech.